speaking of perfect, and I'd love the different reaction to this. There was a video of you and Scarlett Bordeaux making an entrance at a show. I think it was I don't know if it's Future Stars of Wrestling or it was AAA. I'm not too sure, but you were making an entrance, and this fucking nerd Mark leaned over the railing and like slapped you in the back of the neck or in the back. And I just thought, had you grabbed him and punched him, his fucking head would have turned into shit. So,
Go ahead.
so the question is, I'm gonna ask, what's it like for you to deal with marks like that who don't get, don't fucking touch me?
It's rarely happened, but I'll tell you the worst thing that probably ever happened. So when I first went to AAA, this was about 3 years ago, I was involved in an angle where Johnny Mundo won all three titles. Like every single title that was in AAA, he had all three of them. It was a Latin American title, the Mega Championship, and the Cruiserweight. And I had been the catalyst of that. It was Tejano, Phantasma, and him in a three-way, no DQ. And I came in and glommed everybody. He won all three titles. So I was even more hated than John was because I kind of screwed up the entire lineage of everything. The whole country wanted to lynch me. And I went into Tijuana, where Tejano was from, and there was an angle they were doing where he was in a neck brace. Phantasma had given him a pile driver, and they were very close friends. Their fathers were friends. They're the sons of legendary wrestlers. And Tejano was on commentary with the neck brace in his hometown. And I kind of lured Phantasma to dive out of the ring in his direction, and I moved out of the way, and it hit Tejano, and the crowd went berserk, and Tejano flies over the railing, and he's on the ground with the holding the neck brace, and he's just imagine in real life if there's a guy in a neck brace and he just fell off a bike on the sidewalk, how he'd be reacting. He's like almost getting better and kind of re-breaks his neck. So the crowd's really fucking pissed. I mean, they're really pissed. Lucha Libre is a cultural pastime for them. It's baseball to Americans. Like, to them, they know what it is, but they don't. You know what I mean? Like, they're very emotionally engaged in this. So I grabbed Phantasma and I powerbombed him through a fucking table on the floor, and then I proceed to go into the crowd. Hold on, actually, let me freeze for a second. When I powerbombed Phantasma through the table, paramedics start going through the audience to get Tejano, and they start loading him onto a stretcher. So I tried to go through the audience to get to Tejano because there's roaming cameras that are trying to get into the crowd. The crowd's kind of like going berserk about this right now. They're surrounding him, trying to help the paramedics to get him onto the stretcher. The whole front row starts shoving me and not letting me into the crowd. They're trying to literally protect him from me. This is for real. And some of them are cursing at me in English. So I need to get to him because there's roaming cameras there. Like, there's a whole angle that has to happen. So I'm trying to get over, and they're shoving me for real. And I'm a lot bigger than these people, and it's not that I can't roll through them, but I don't want to. Like, they're paid tickets for front row. Like, I can't just start fucking battering, assaulting, people in their 30s and their 40s. So I just try to speak a little bit of English to them because my Spanish is horrendous. And I go, listen, he's really hurt, and he's a personal friend of mine. I need to get to him. It's just a show. He's hurt for real. And they're like, oh, what? And I go, yes, he's hurt. You have to let me get to him, please. Something's wrong, and I need to speak with him. Like, oh, my God. Okay, go ahead. So I climb over the railing. They let me through. And he's laying on the stretcher with the neck brace. I walk up real slowly, like I'm protecting, like I'm trying to, see if he's okay to protect him. And I grab him by his fucking face, and I look at him, and I start violently shaking him. And, he's got the long hair at the time, so his hair's flying, and he's going, ah! Ah! All of the people in the front row were like, you motherfucker! And their friends are holding them back, and they're like looking at me like I'm shaking their child in a hospital who has a broken neck. And they're like, having to hold him back. And I flip the fucking gurney over. He lands on the floor. I grab the neck brace and I rip it off of his neck. And I choke slam him off like the first level through the concession tables. He's like covered in popcorn. He's got fucking hot dogs in his hair. And these people are screaming. So I get to the back, and one of the production people goes, "Did you not see the staff signaling to you?" And I said, "No, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "Look at this." And he shows me this footage. On one of the roaming cameras, these people were getting ready to stab me. They had something in their hand, and it was like one guy holding something and two guys around him that looked like at one moment they were encouraging him to do it, and then another moment it didn't. And when I turned in their direction, and just by fluke, I looked at them. And, you know, like, I'm in character. And people don't realize that, yeah, it's a character, but when I'm in character, I'm not the guy talking to you right now. Like, I'm completely submersed. And I know that sounds fucking crazy, but don't be shocked. Like, look at what I'm doing on television, right? So
Yeah.
I'm in character and I'm in the crowd. And when I turned in their direction, the guy dropped it and fucking walked away. That's how fucking scared he got. He was holding a fucking knife getting ready to stab me. They came to a Lucha Libre show knowing that it's a show. He was so upset that he was contemplating stabbing me over this. And when I turned in this direction, he dropped it and walked away. I wasn't even looking necessarily directly at him. That's how scared he got. So this whole, when you talk about fans doing crazy shit and wanting to haul off on them, that by far, I think, was one of the craziest things that's ever fucking happened. So now, from now on, when I'm wrestling in Mexico, I don't go in the crowd.
Did you know that cameras actually picked up what that fan said?
Tell me, what did he say? I need to know.
It said, "You're a fucking ugly bitch. I want to stab you to death and then play around in your blood."
Well, just tell him it was just cran apple and he's overreacting. Okay? You know, tell him to fucking swing by crayons or something, or fluties.
But I gotta ask, I had no idea you were this funny. I thought you were more going to scare the living shit out of me.
Well, see,
But
that's the whole thing in real life. Like, people think that, like, to be violent and to be aggressive and whatnot, that it's a 24/7 thing. Like, I can smile and have a laugh with you and then smash your fucking face through a car windshield. I don't need to be in a bad mood. That's the scary thing about real life people. They get violent real fast.